Okay, this is an example of not touching something until you're ready to work on it, but I touched something and I wasn't really ready to work on it yet. And considering everything that's going on right now, I really shouldn't have started this project. I didn't think it was going to be as long as it was, but I took off the bottom bar of my rear window because it's rusting out already, I should say. Lots of rust, lots of bad rust. If it's that bad on the outside, you can only imagine what it's like on the inside. You can see the mechanism. It's got a lot of rust on it too. So I started pulling it off, thinking for some reason I needed to pull that off to work on it. That was probably a big mistake, because I've created a problem for myself, because now I've got to reassemble it and I don't have the goo for the line here. So that's a problem. That's a bit of a problem, because I'll need that to reassemble it. There was quite a bit of goo on there, so that'll have to go across there. And then I'll get this slid back on there, I guess, and get that reassembled. But when I do, it'll be ready for whatever comes, because I'm going to be crazy, man. You can see the rust that came out of it. This is the pile of rust that was inside this bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour our black magic rust inhibitor material paint stuff down this tube, all the way down. And we're going to pray that that covers a lot of rust and prevents some of the rust from occurring in the future. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try it. I'm not that optimistic, so I don't know. Anyway, what we've got is a big old bucket full of rusty materials, rusty bolts, rusty everythings, and we've already broken a few. We had to cut some off, so we have a bunch of damaged stuff. So we're gonna go to the hardware store. We're gonna hit the hardware store and buy a bunch of fasteners. And that means getting in the truck. Here we go. Okay, we're headed to Blanchard Town to get the hardware, because my Ace Hardware here in Newcastle doesn't open on Sundays, which shocks me, because I know how many times I have to go on a Sunday. I've got to be one of 1,000 guys in this town that need to get stuff on a Sunday. But, you know, that makes Blanchard's sales numbers look better, so maybe there's a method to the madness too. Maybe they're both owned by the same place. I don't know. Anyway, I'll have to check on that. Nonetheless, then I got a pocket full of screws I gotta get, 4 of each, certain sets. I did have to, I used a lot of penetrant to get it to break those loose. Steel screws and aluminum fixtures and whatever. It was very bad. One of them, 2 of them broke. One of or 2 of them broke, literally, snip. That's what I get for using stainless steel when I have to use stainless steel. It's just not going to be sturdy. But it also didn't rust, but not much good when I have to drill them out. So, which I had to drill 2 screws out because they both busted. And those were 2 for the brackets on the sides. Pretty disappointing. So I'm gonna get those replaced. I will put them back with not thread locker. We'll put them together with anti-seize. So So it'll be some grease in there, so corrosion should be at a minimum, and that will be helpful if I ever did have to take it all apart. I hope I never do. And you know, the philosophy of pouring paint down a tube and hoping it covers everything, especially something I can't clean. I mean, they don't make a 4-foot long wire brush, not to my knowledge anyway, and not what I'm going to be able to get today. But I'll show you when I get back to the shop some of the little screws that hold the rail on, that holds the wires for the lights and such. Were so rusted on the backside they were worn down to the nubbin. They're barely holding anyway, so kind of crazy. So we'll get that sorted out, and then I'll run by the O'Reillys while I'm down here. We've got an O'Reillys in Newcastle too, but that's a long back and forth. I'll just turn around the corner there and go to the O'Reillys in Blanchard, and I'll check and see if they've got the silicone sealant for window replacement, putting in windows. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I think it's gonna be an okay day. I shouldn't have touched it, I know. I should have just left it alone and just worked on the thing I had in progress in front of me. But I saw that rusty thing when I lifted up the gate to investigate yesterday, and obsessive compulsive disorder took over, and I had to take it apart, whether I could fix it or not. And then what I thought I had to do to fix it was way wrong. So pulling off that lower bar off the window, super dumbassery. So I'm more upset with myself for taking it apart like I did than anything else. I could have just replaced all the hardware, removed the window from the frame, from the hinges, and still poured the stuff down it, but I'm a dumbass.
Now, son, what do we call Eric?
Dumbass!
Alright, so let's shut that down before the camera gets so hot it doesn't work anymore, because it is 79 whopping degrees outside, but it is directly in the sunlight. It was fun to see Venture Forward talk about his GoPro 12 or whatever it was, and how 20 minutes in the refrigerator lets him use it for some period of time. Yeah, he has the same problem. I'm sure everybody has the same problem with these bloody GoPros. So looks like LR Time is using DJIs, which I originally looked at, and they're Uber China. So, but if they're really good quality, there's not a lot of options for these kind of cameras, and I don't want to go drop $1,500 on a fancy camera with a bunch of lenses and stuff. That's just not my bag. It's not me. So we'll get it done. All right, on to the hardware store. Let's go. We're in Blanchard Town now. Okay, observations. This type of angle wire brush thingy throws more stuff. I've been stuck twice in the stomach just during that little 5 minutes. This is very rusted, and in spots pitting has occurred. Let's see if I can get the camera down here to see it. Pitting is occurring. We've eaten all the way through the steel from the back side. So that should tell you that's pretty bad inside there. So I'm gonna get all of the surface rust off the outside. I'm gonna have to drill these two rivets out, and in order to get that hole cleaned out. So I've got to go do that right now. Do we have our drill bit over here? No. That went swimmingly well. Very rusted. All right, let's, they're gonna have to get that cleaned off too. Let's not forget about that. Safety second. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that, I guess, for what it is. So that's gonna get multiple sprays of primer on it. Probably ought to pull that one out because it's got rust underneath it, but it's broken. Wonder how easy those are to remove. What are they? I don't know how those are gonna get removed without broken. See if we can get it out of there. Gently. Nope. Nope and nope. Okay, remember what I forgot at the store. I should have bought cleaner for my parts cleaner. Pretty stupid move there. Gonna need that for sure. I'm going to use the little grinder wheel on the Dremel to get this other inside that hole. Not that I think it'll make that much difference, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because why not? Okay, we'll call that good. Let's get some paint on it, and we'll see if we can salvage it with some paint. This channel is where the glue's gonna have to go, so I'll have to put some work into that. I'm not sure how to get all the goop out of there because it's a narrow channel, and only where it's thick does it work with my tools. So little of this is gonna have to work out just somehow for me. All right. And there's rust in there. Why wouldn't there be rust in there? That makes sense. There is no good way to get the rust out of that channel. It's down here in the bottom. There isn't a tool made that can do that, I'm aware of. Sandpaper, maybe. I don't know how I'm gonna get that done. All right, investigations. Okay, we're gonna try something really stupid. There's a lot of the rust that's inside this channel is rusted through. I poked this into a couple of the holes where it looked like it was starting to happen, and a big old piece of rust on the backside slid down the tube. So my guess is the inside of this thing is pretty ratted out. So we're gonna do what we can on this side, and then again we're gonna try to pour material down the other side. So here we go, just lightly dusting it with this just to get the rust off. Oh boy. Okay, let's just come out and be honest about it. This is gonna be a replace at some point. I am only borrowing time with this frame. The rust is bad inside. I mean, I showed you already, I think, but every time I touch it, more chunks fall out. You saw this at the beginning, I think. So that's just from the inside of that tube. This is a substantial amount of rust in there. So all right, word to the wise. If you're gonna buy one of these frames, I bought mine from Atlantic British a while ago. You've got to mitigate the rust before it happens. So you'll need to get this thing in some ability to get something inside the tube and to keep the rust out, or you just resign yourself that this is going to be a replacement part, and you get 10 years out of one and buy another until they quit making them. I know they make them out of aluminum, but I heard they were less sturdy, so I don't know about that, but I bought a steel one. Or they used to make them out of aluminum. Let's just be honest about it. I don't know if they still do. So that's where we're stuck. So I'm gonna get some primer on this stuff, and that'll basically be it for this week. So this is gonna be a two-parter for at least, and then we'll get the rest of this put back together in the following weeks. As always, thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe and keep commenting. I enjoy chatting back and forth with you guys and gals. Hasn't actually been a gal yet, but that's not the point. I'm willing to chat with you on an email or message or whatever. Thank you for your time. Hey, have a good week.